Hi everybody, Jo here again. How you doing? I hope you're okay. Now I'm popping in today with a design. It's a Christmas card design, but it's also one of our so every month we have a challenge at Lavinia, and this month the theme, so we give you a theme, and normally you can win a voucher to spend at Lavinia, and the winner's chosen at random, and normally it's £40. But what I have to remember this month is for December, it's £60. So imagine getting a £60 voucher to spend at Lavinia Stamps. I mean, fabulous or what? I always have a list. I've got to be honest. I mean, we went the other weekend, and even on my way back, I thought, I still should have got. And I walked around the shop just filling my basket. Always have things on my list. But then there's always new things every time I go. I think that's a bit naughty, don't you? Things I need. Anyway, I digress. So the theme this month for December is story time. And for me, this is the design I've come up with. And this is our lovely Thistlewhisk. And my story here is that Thistlewhisk, it's been snowing, and she wanted to go out. Now, she's got her umbrella up because the snow is just starting. You know that it's just warming up a little bit and it's starting to melt, and it's just going to come down, so she needs her umbrella up. But she wants to go out for a little walk. So this is my design, and I mean, I know you clever lot, you'll come up with all sorts of, I mean, story time. It doesn't have to be festive. I've just got to be honest, I needed to make a couple more Christmas cards, but shh, don't tell anyone. I mean, it could be a masculine card you need to make. It could be a story with the dragons. It could be with fairies. It could be anything. It's story time. I mean, the books, you know me, I love the Book of Spells. It could be a floral book. It could be a music book. Story time. I mean, honestly, just create what you would like. Now, I like to create the back, just part of the design on the back of the card, just because for me, I walk Eric, and when I walk past people's houses, I'm a bit nosy. Shh, again, we won't tell anybody. And the back of the card, I think it's important to have a nice design on there. And also, you know me, the envelope as well. Now, I decorate this corner because when I put my postage stamp here in the address, it just looks nice. Also for me, I don't add any colour because if it gets wet, I don't want the colour to run. And the little sentiment just on the little flap here. I mean, it just gives it that bit extra. Anyway, we'll start. Sorry, you know what I'm like. Multifarious card, and it's 5.5 inches square. And I'm going to start off with my circle mask. And I'm coming in with Blue Atoll and the larger of the stencil brushes. And I just want to give myself a guide for where we're going to do the stamping. And again, always blend in the lid. And a nice light touch. We're just going to tickle. And we're going to come round sort of to about, say, 1 o'clock, if it was the clock face, to about 1. And then round here to about, I don't know, between 4 and 5. So we've got that space there. It's nice to have that white space. And I'm going to stop there. That's enough. But I will now, I'm going to put the lid on there. Pop that over there. You know, in that space that I haven't got. Without inking up, I just want to fuzzy that edge a little bit. So I'm just going to come in and just fuzzy that edge slightly. And then got some copy paper, just because for me, I find it helps with my stamping. And we'll bring in our beautiful Thistlewhisk. And for this, my Versafine Clair, lovely stamping ink, permanent ink, I'm going for Pinecone. It's a dark brown, and I just find it works really well for this type of card. Probably my favourite of all the brown inks. And we'll just pop her there. And again, just give that ink time to soak in. It's a beautiful detailed stamp. So remember, if you're one of our new friends and followers, try not to lift your stamping up too quickly. You'll just find it soaks in better. And then the Fir Cone Branch. Again, such an old favourite. I've got to be honest, I've actually got 2 of this stamp because once I thought I'd lost it, so I bought a replacement. Oh, I soon found the original, but it's great having 2. just in case. Now this, I know I'm going to want it over here, and I'm going to use that shape just as a stamping guide. So I'm going to put one there. Now it doesn't have to be perfectly on that circle, it's just giving you a guide for the shape. And then I'm going to turn it round, and I'm using the same colour, and I'm just going to stamp it again once more. And again, using that circle as a guide. And if you look, it just gives me the nice shape here, but also then it stops here at the base, which is exactly the sort of design I'm looking for. Now I want to add some berries. We've got various berries. So I've gone for the mini berry here, but lots of different berries. You just decide which one you want to use. That's not good, is it? Right, let's stick it to the actual block. Sometimes that happens. I've probably got something on the back of my stamp. So I'm just going to pop it on my copy of paper. Just see if I can. Don't tell anyone, I've probably not cleaned the back of my stamp. So what I'm thinking is it'll be nice to have one buried just at the end here. And I don't want to add too many, but I just want to come round and just add a few berries at various places. And I'm thinking, can we get one in here? And I'm just sort of alternating. It looks nice if you alternate. And don't worry, if the stem doesn't quite meet, I've got a brown fine liner, but also when I add my snow, it hides it. So that's my theory anyway. Let's have one here. And then just one more at the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's an even number, but never mind. I think we just need one down here. So we'll pop the lid on. So the next one I'm going to use is from the Starpine set. And it's funny, this is probably my favourite one. And I know you shouldn't have favourites, but I use this the most. And I'm going to go for Portobello. No, I'm not. I'm going for Sand Dune, or Sandra Dune as we call her. And the reason is this, I want to go more into the background. The Portobello I'm going to use on my next stamp, and that'll bring it more to the foreground. So that's the way my sort of head works. When I come up with the design at this stage, I know I want some stamping in the background and then something a little bit nearer. So I'm going to do that stamping in the background first. So as I say, Sand Dune, and a little tip here, the Starpine's got a stalk on it. And if you ink up in the middle of your ink pad, you'll get the whole of the stalk. Just checking you can see. Well, really, I, if possible, want to miss the stalk off. I just want to have the piney bit. So I'm going to ink up in the corner. Now, it might not work all the time, but just as a general guide, I find for me it helps. And I just want to use this stamp. Oh, good job that was on the back. As sort of a filler in. So as I say, I just, as a force of habit, ink up on the corner. And I tend to turn my card round just because I find it easier. But again, you'll know what, you know, however it is that you find it easiest for you. Now again, I think you could batch card make this. And then lastly, I'm just going to turn it round and actually have one coming that way to sort of keep this edge. Now I need a little something there, so maybe if I just ink up that edge, look, and it just by doing it in the corner just takes it behind. And the same here, just a little bit more. There we go. I'm happy now with that shape. So now onto the Portobello. So as I say, this is a slightly deeper colour, so it'll push the lovely Starpine into the background. And for this, I've gone for the one off the Winter Foliage. Now on the Winter Foliage, there's two possibilities. There's this one here, which is a smaller one, or this, which is the larger one. Again, it might be you want to use a combination of both. I'm just going for the larger one. And once again, I'm going to ink up. You see, I want some more foliage, but I don't want too much. And if I just show you, and again, I'm inking up in the corner, just so that I get that right amount. So if I pop one here, so can you see how it just brings it to the foreground, pushing this to the background? And we just want to keep that nice shape. So I just need another one here. And you can use these as a guide. So you can almost add the stamping onto the stamping you've already got. And it just gives that nice combination. You can also do a little bit of second generation if you've got a space, look. And again, just work your way round. Try not to overdo it. We don't want any of those there pizzas, but we just want a nice amount of lovely winter foliage. Now again, you could easily alter this card, make it more spring-like. And again, for this last one, look, we'll turn it that way. So it just brings it and finishes that edge. It's a lovely tip that if you're doing sort of a semi-wreath like this, do the last stamping so it gives you that lovely shape. So I'm happy with that. So we'll stop there. What I will do is just stamp the sentiment. And for this one, I'm going to go for Wishing You Peace. And I'm going to go back to the Pinecone, the darker colour. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to pop that in this corner, just so we get that nice sort of shape. I'm going to give that a blot. So if you knew your Versafine Clair permanent ink, like I say, brilliant for stamping, gives great detail. You can use it with your embossing powders over the top, but it is a slower drying ink, so try and get in the habit of blotting it, just because we don't want to smudge it, especially if you're happy with what you've done. So I'm going to bring the moon mask in, the smallest of those circles, and I'm just going to see if I've got enough ink. So it's the Blue Atoll again. Just see if I've got enough ink. And again, this is great because it saves re-inking your stencil brush, but also you might as well use the ink that's on there. And look, you've got enough just so you've got that lovely moon popping through. So let's add some colour. And I'm going to colour the berries first. And I'm coming in with my Wink of Stella brushes. Now these come in obviously a variety of colours. You check them out. And what I'm going to do is the little cones on here, I'm going to use my gold. And like I've done before, I'm just going to colour the base. So where I'm going to add some white highlights, I would have to let the Wink of Stella dry before adding the white. So I might as well leave it and just put it straight on the card. Are you with me? And also I'm a bit thrifty. I think, why would I put my gold pen underneath when I can actually save the gold in here? Sorry, but that's me. The berries I'm going to do in the blue, and in case you're asking, the reason I write on here is I know the lid's coloured, but when I take the lids off, and I know I can see the blue there, but it's easy for me to put the wrong lid on. And also I store mine upside down, so it's easier to look for the name, for the colour. Now, the berries, I'm coming in, and just between you and me, when it gets near, now we all know what day Christmas is on, but I don't know about you, but I'm one of those that Christmas cards, you know, I never have enough. And there's always those extra ones. And I leave my family ones till the end. Well, that's a good idea, except I've got less time as it gets nearer Christmas. I want a bit of shading with this blue. So Wink of Stella is a great way of doing quick colouring. Now, because I haven't got a darker blue, what I found is if I come in with my silver look and just add my silver where... Now, you have two ways of doing this. You can do it like this and just come over the top. The silver just darkens that blue and gives you that lovely shade. Now, you can either do it that way or, like we do with the clean colour pens, and we've done this before, you can pick up some of the silver and just put it on and it'll darken the blue, and then your blue pen will go back to its normal blue. Now, I must admit, I've actually found it quicker to do it this way. But again, you can choose, you know, it's however you want to work. I mean, I just found I love the way this dries, and you've got that lovely shine, that lovely shimmer, and it's so quick. But I needed that extra bit of shade, and the silver works really well. So what we'll do is we'll add the beautiful umbrella, and again, I can come in round here, look, and we'll colour this with the blue to match. I love doing colouring in at workshops, you know. It's amazing how many crafters stick their tongue out when they're concentrating. I mean, I'm doing a bit of a speed colouring here, but I know, I mean, this is lovely. Just take your time. You won't be against the clock like me. And I'm just adding that silver just to give the darker traces, drawn the lines on the umbrella where you need that darker colour. Right, so silver on the silver, blue on the blue. But what you'll see with the finished design, it's lovely how that blue. Now, if you're batch card making, if you knew your friend, say your neighbour, their tree is purple, there's a beautiful violet Wink of Stella, so maybe make this design in violet with a violet umbrella and violet berries. I just think you could batch card make this, changing the colour up each time. Right, so on to our beautiful mouse. Now, I've gone for my Mondelez pencils, and I've gone for number 1, 28, 32 and 131. Now, you know me, this is a bit of quick colouring, and I'm just going to colour just with the pink, a little bit on the nose and the ear. Now, with these beautiful mice, you can have them grey, brown, totally up to you. I'm just going for a little bit of sort of dark and light brown. And what I find is I want to leave some white as well, because often white little areas, and I think that's so cute. So I'm adding a bit of sort of that brown there, look. And then almost the yellowy brown. Then I'm going to come in with my white and blend that. And the white not only blends it, but adds a little bit of white as well. I just think these are fabulous. And that's all I'm going to do. I don't need to do any more. But what I will do, I say I don't need to do any more. We're just going to finish it off. A couple of little, I've got the Signo, the Uniball, and I've got the bronze. And what I'm thinking is on the umbrella, look, this is a posh one. It's got nice bronze attachments, and here just at the end. Now again, it's up to you, but I just think the bronze goes with that lovely, the goldy tones and the browns. And next we need just a little bit of something here, don't we? We need to ground the mouse. So I'm thinking, and I'm just leaning down next to Eric, and that's where I have my pastel pencils. I don't know about you, but I do use the floor so much. And I'm just going to come in with my blue, and I'm just going to a little bit of grounding. That's all. I don't need much. Just a little bit there, and you see the difference really finishes that off. And then with the white, again, not adding a lot, just a little bit of shape on this foot. That's all I'm going to do. Pop them back next to Mr. Eric. And then some white highlights. Now, we've had a couple of questions recently, so I can answer them while I'm doing this card. The difference between the Posca, the Mangaka, in my opinion, the Posca's great for snow because you can do splatters with it. The Mangaka, the nib, it's not designed for splatters, so I wouldn't use this for snow, but it's a fabulous white pen. Again, it needs a shake. It's got a ball bearing in. And again, it's got a pump action nib, but if you look, it's great for doing the white highlights. So what I tend to do is keep this one for my white highlights, and I'm just looking the moons here. So my white highlights would be sort of here here. And also the bit I left on the cones, look, I can add the white. And again, it's like everything, you know, it's just having the right tools for the right job. But yes, I did try spattering, I've got to be honest, because I love the white, but no, the nib flew out. And I thought, well, I won't do that again, will I? And while I've got the white, I'm just going to add some white dots just in the snow here, just a few. I mean, I am going to add some snow, but I just want to add a few little white dots underneath. Time for snow. Two things. The white Posca. Now, again, it does sit better over the Wink of Stella when it's properly dry. So I'll add this now just because we're having our catch up, but I will come back when it's dry and add some more. But my real snow is coming in courtesy of the Sizzix, the crystal paste. As you know, I love this stuff. Best to open it up without your work underneath, just in case any bits come off, look. It's got a lid. This is a nice little bit to open it, but because I've got arthritis, I struggle. So I've just got some jewellery pliers and the lid comes off. That works well for me. So we'll just clean that off there. Various ways of applying it. You can use your palette knife. I go for a coffee because I like coffee, as you know. And one of these lovely coffee stirrers is fabulous just to get a little bit. Now, this does dry hard, and when I was demoing it at our lovely Halaganza recently, we worked out within 20 minutes it was nearly dry, and certainly 45 minutes it was properly dry. I've also happily posted my cards with this on, and they've been received really well. There's been no damage, so I thought I'd test that out for you. But it's lovely stuff. And one pot, although it looks like I'm using a lot, I had a pot last year which lasted, did all my Christmas cards with it, and I love it on embellishments, MDF embellishments. I've also been using it on tree decorations that I've bought, if I want extra snow. Honestly, it's just fabulous stuff. In fact, I think poor Eric, he always looks a bit worried because he's like, don't put it on me, Mum. And you will just, I'm just adding it in my head. I'm just thinking where the top of the berries and the branches. I don't want to put it everywhere because I don't want it to look too much, but just on the top here. And what I'm going to do is a little bit on the top of the umbrella, look. We'll have a little bit on the ground here. Don't want too much, but just in between. I want to be able to see the blue. And where we've added that little bit of the mangaka pen. And then finally, on these bits here, I want a little bit so it looks like, because obviously my story is, please don't let that snow drop, I've got my umbrella. Just as it melts, coming down, look. And as I say, if you want to put a little bit just on top of the berries. And I just find the two little sticks work really well. You can also, if you want, put some on top of the sentiment here. Now, when I've finished, I tend to break off the little bits I've used, pop them in the bin, but I've still got two little for putting next time. Then, last little tip for you, when I pop the lid on, I just take the actual lid, pop it like that. Now, a little word of warning, don't press in there, I did. The whole lid goes in. So just pop your hands all the way around, work your way around the edge. It'll form a seal. Give it a good wipe. And then make sure that's on, lid on. And like I say, mine lasted over 12 months. So there we go. That's my little story time offering. And as I say, there we've got the finished design with matching envelope. And guess what? It's a win for me because I've got 2 more cards made. How are you doing? I bet you've got all yours made already, haven't you? I bet you better than me. But do you know what I love? When I do the back, it gives me an idea. If this was a B7 card, I could do that, put a lovely bow there and a sentiment there or a sentiment here. Or I could stamp it above and below, sentiment here. And that's what I love about when you start creating, your mind just wanders. And I've got to be honest, I'm going to go and make this again now with purples. Lovely purpley tones. So have fun. Remember to enter the challenge. All the information is on the website. Go to the Lavinia website and there's a challenge part and have a look. And also you can see what everybody else has created. You might be the winner. You might come back and put on here at the end of the month, Joe, I've won £60 voucher to spend at Lavinia. And I'll be like, I am so thrilled for you. But secret, I'll be like, oh, lucky you. Anyway, you take care. As always, thanks for popping in and spending time with me. Have fun. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.